So part two of 100 Films You Must Watch, and we focusing in on slashers. I am going to be skipping over the mainstream ones like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Black Christmas, and so on. I am going to be focusing more on the lesser known ones because you already know about the other ones. Up first, it is a classic. It's from the 80s. It is The Burning. This is probably one of the most well-known movies on my list. It came out around the same time as Friday the 13th and Halloween. It takes place at a summer camp. I think that this actually came out before Friday the 13th. I could be wrong, but I think it did actually. For some reason, it was lesser known, and I don't understand why. But, anyways, it takes place at a summer camp. It does have a couple of really big name stars in it. I cannot think of anyone right now. I'm so sorry. But, of course, it has the whole cliche urban legend of someone with a burned face and he's going around and then big surprise, people start being it's really good. It stood the test of time. It's still a good watch today. The K words are really creative. Some of them are really, really fun. I highly recommend this movie to anyone that loves cheesy, good 80s movies. But it's also pretty serious, so The Burning. Up next is also kind of it's a pretty well-known film. It's probably one of the worst ones on the list. It is going to be Cherry Falls. The only reason this is on the list, it is not because it's a great movie. It absolutely is not. I put it on the list because it is very creative, and I like that it was one of the first slashers to go against the whole virgins are going to live, and, you know, the other girls that don't wait are gonna die. I really enjoyed that because I think that's one of the first films I've seen where they made that a rule. And I might be wrong, but I kind of have a feeling it was a little bit of inspiration to Scream. Not a whole bunch, but a little bit. You know, the turning of the traditional rules against each other kind of thing. Could be wrong on that. But if you haven't seen it, it is about, it has Jay Moore, Jared Leto, and Brittany Murphy, and a couple other really big famous people in it. And it follows this girl, and she lives with like her police officer dad, and people around the school start getting, and they're going after virgins. And it's just very creative. It's silly. It's not a good movie. So if you're gonna watch it for all seriousness, it's not that good. You have to be in the mood for a good, fun, silly type of movie. And then we find out the twist, of course, and then it's over. Cherry Falls. Up next, it is one of my personal favorites. It's going to be a trilogy. It is the Stepfather trilogy. I love Terry O'Quinn so much. He did the Stepfather 1 and 2, and then he also did Penn, which is really underrated and very unknown, sadly, because it's a really good movie. It also, the first one has Jill Schoelen in it, who was one of the original slasher queens. I can't even talk, but slasher queens. The Stepfather films, they follow Terry O'Quinn's character, and he enters families that are already established, like single mothers with their kids. And then he enters into the relationship, gains her trust, falls in love, all that good stuff, and then they get married. And then when things go wrong, he annihilates them. Brutally. The first Stepfather, it has the most beautiful, best opening scene I have ever seen in my entire life, and I will die on that hill. It is gorgeous. I love that scene so much. If you know what I'm talking about, starts off with the outside with the birdhouse, and then you go all through the house, and then you slowly go up the steps. It is so beautiful. It is so fantastic. Anyways, it also has a part 2 that had, rest in peace, Jonathan Brandis. It also had the girl Meg Foster. I couldn't think of her name. And the third one, they actually replaced Terry O'Quinn because he refused to come back and do it for some reason. And they did this really amazing, cheesy synopsis. They made his character go through plastic surgery, and that is the reason there is a brand new guy and that he looks and acts nothing like Terry O'Quinn. It's amazing. I highly, highly, highly recommend all these movies. They are my like all-time favorite movies. I am such a dork. Up next is a very lesser known film. It is Coldplay 2. There is a Coldplay trilogy. I personally could not stand the first Coldplay or the third Coldplay. I'm sorry if you were a fan. I couldn't do it. I love the second one though. Basically, this is kind of like Friday the 13th and Halloween, but at an isolated snow cabin where people are skiing and all that good stuff. In the sequel, she wakes up in the hospital after the whole previous movie. Okay, sorry. Gotta stay with me a little bit on that. And it is a direct homage to Halloween 2. They did it dead on. It is beautiful. It is amazing. These movies are bloody. You're basically just getting Halloween 2, but it's retold in the cold, and it has very good K-words, good acting, good everything. I want to say this is Norwegian, so you might have to read subtitles, but it is 100% worth it, I promise. The first one, wasn't my thing. Up next, I have another movie from the 80s. It was a big time for slashers. It is Popcorn. This film was basically the 80s version of Scream. It follows this group of kids who are obsessed with theater and film. And they talk about it, and they're putting on like this theater where they're playing all these movies and everything. And people are getting throughout the movie and throughout all that good stuff. It also has Jill Schoelen in it. She was in a lot of really good stuff in the 80s. I'm surprised more people don't know about this film because it was amazing. And like I said, it is basically Scream, but for the 80s. It is a little cheesy. It's the 80s, come on now. It is a little cheesy, but it's still really good. And I highly recommend it if you want to watch a good, cheesy, fun film. Next, if you've ever seen Rob Zombie's movie 31 and you ever wondered where he got his inspiration from, the next two go into that. It is going to be The Furries, and there's also a movie called Slashers. Slashers was done by Maurice Devereaux, however you say his name. I'm so sorry. I love that guy. I think he is a genius. His movies are really cheesy, really, really low budget. Not the best acting skills, but his ideas and his concepts and his directions are there. He also did End of the Line, which, if you follow me for a while, you know I've talked about a lot, because I think that that is a fantastic film. But both of these movies are grouped in together because they're basically kind of the same thing. Slashers it's going to sound very familiar. It takes place, there's these few contestants who are brought to this place, and they have to battle in this huge, like, little underground world, all these crazy, deranged killers that come out of nowhere, and they have to battle them, and whoever wins throughout all this wins the entire thing. Direct inspiration from 31. Rob Zombie completely ripped this film off. I'm so sorry if you did not know that, but I am fully convinced. But this was original. I think it was early 2000s that this came out. The acting is horrific, but it's fun, it's cheesy, and it was really, really creative before Rob Zombie took the idea. I grouped it with the movie called The Furies because they kind of have the same idea. In that film, a bunch of girls wake up and they don't know where they are, how they got there, and out of nowhere they're being chased by different serial killers throughout the entire thing, and most of them are graphically they are all pretty similar and have the exact same kind of vibe. So any of those three, 31 was probably the worst out of those. I would go with The Furies just because it's less cheesy. But then I would totally watch Slashers and then 31 if you want to watch those, because they're basically the same thing. Up next is a film from the 80s that no one I know has ever talked about. I found this movie by chance and I bought it on Amazon a few years ago, and this movie was incredible. It is Bad Dreams. It follows this girl. She's like in like an insane asylum kind of thing, and she keeps like going to sleep and blacking out, and then people around her end up in very, very graphic ways. And she doesn't know, and we don't know if she's crazy or if these things are happening or what's going on. And it's just a really good movie. We find out at the very end. I know when I read some of the reviews for it when I wanted to buy it, some people were comparing it to A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not like that. It's completely different, but I can't really tell you the full story without giving the entire thing away. And it's a really good film. So, Bad Dreams. Up next is French Extreme. It is a film called Creep. I just watched this not too long ago. The acting isn't the best. It has I'm gonna totally butcher her name. It's Franca Potent. I'm not sure how you say her name. I'm not really sure where she's from, to be honest. I think she's German when I looked her up. I think that's where she's from. But anyways, it follows this girl. She had a rough night at a party, and she's going home, and she catches the subway. And while she's waiting for the subway to come in, she somehow falls asleep. And then when she wakes up, everyone is mysteriously gone. And then she makes her way onto the tracks. And crazy, crazy things start happening, and she starts being stalked by this guy that is brutally getting rid of everyone in the subway that she runs into, you know, like homeless people, other people who got stuck, conductors, etc. This one is a little bit more disturbing. It does have some really bad content in there. If you can't handle some extreme things or like essay type of events, do not watch this. And this one is the most graphic one on this list, but it's really good. It's the most recent one, I believe. Yeah, it's the most recent one on the list as well. That is Creep. And lastly, I have a little film called Carnage Park. This movie was really, really fun. It starts off really cheesy. You have to make it past the first 30 minutes before it to pick up. But then it picks up after you stick it out just that like 30 minutes or so. In the beginning, it opens up to these two guys, I believe. They're robbing a bank. And there's a girl. I don't remember if she's taken hostage or if she's in on it with them. I don't remember that part. But it doesn't really matter to the storyline anyways. Either way, she ends up going with them afterwards. And their car breaks down. And some guy stops to help them. And he ends up being really crazy and deranged. And he eventually takes them. And he takes them back to this place. And think kind of like Wolf Creek a little bit. And he starts hunting them on his property. It is very, very, very creative. And it was actually a really good movie. It has a couple of famous people in the indie world. Not like, you know, Hollywood famous, but in the indie world, you might recognize a couple of the people in this film. It's really gruesome. Super, super, super creative. Yeah, that's all I pretty much got. Carnage Park.